All right, you may have seen the video I made before this about getting data into Google Sheets. This one's going to be about messing around with it, cleaning it up, doing different things with it once you've got that data in Sheets. So the world is your oyster here in lots of different ways. So we'll start with some built-in functions, of which there are many, many. Um, and I've highlighted a few here, but there's tons more to look at, and I'll hit a few of these highlights, but you'll be able to mess with this sheet yourself, so you don't really need me to go over everything. Um, One thing you can do is stick stuff together. So I've got my source in 3 different columns here. I can write a concatenate, which is, we're going to say Latin for stick together, and then I'm going to stick it together with commas using this. So that might be useful, might not. You can also split by commas. So if you've got a string that's separated by anything that's consistent, you can split it out using the split function. It breaks it out into each element having its own different cell. So that can be really useful. There's a lot of regex options you have. I think extract rather than replace is usually the most useful, but regex is a whole world unto itself. So I linked to regex 101 down here. You can check it out there, but you can do stuff like, hey, look through this chunk of text, find me the first instance where we have parentheses, and return it. And that's what's going on here. We could also do it for the last instance. So there's some interesting possibilities with being able to kind of parse out text that has something that you can find and kind of use as a navigator. So if there's consistency in your text, you can use regex and other things to manipulate that text in ways that are consistent for you. Like here, we're just going to take this text as a string. We're going to go, hey, give me the characters left. And in this case, I'm looking for the first period. So essentially it looks through here, it finds that period, and it returns a number of characters, and that's what enables me to pull out Benjamin Franklin. I've used this lots of times to either get the first part of an email or the second part. You can see you can make it like more and more complex. There's left, right, there's mid, so there's different ways to manipulate strings based on that. And you can combine them with other stuff like find me this, find me that, find the length of the thing, and then minus the place. So it takes a little bit of messing around sometimes, but you can do just about anything you want, including grab the middle of a string based on some stuff. So what's cool is you can also create your own functions. So say I found myself messing with emails an awful lot. I can go up here into, I do like this, I go Tools, Script Editor, that's going to pop open this window, and I can write my own functions. So here's a super simple one that does the email piece. And I made a demo here, which kind of shows you what it does. So in this case, input is the value of the cell. So this is, we'd write equal email clean, and then we would either write in quotes the email, or we'd reference the cell where the email exists. But you can see when we run a little thing here, what it does is, in this case, it uses JavaScript to split at the ampersand. So it returns it in an array, faker email, faker.com, and then we just want the first item in that array, which is fake email. So you can get super complex in terms of what your functions do and how they behave, but that's a super simple one, just to kind of give you a feel for what that looks like. And you can see that's all it looks like there. So kind of cool. All right, now get a little more interesting perhaps. Here's one I use all the time, which is unique. So it's going to look down this row, find me all the unique values. So that can be useful in and of itself. But then I can also count them using this Countif function. So I'm going to look across this chunk of data, and I'm going to reference brim in this case, which is my E2 value. And we're going to say count in all of these things if it equals A2. And I can just drag it down to make it apply to all these weird fish names. So that's kind of cool. and endlessly valuable for me. Here's another one that a lot of people aren't aware of is that Google has its own query language built in, which is a little bit like SQL. And this links out to kind of more details on it. But what I can do is things like this. I can say select column A where column C is greater than 32. And that's what this is returning. But these things can get really complex. You could say where C is greater than 32 and um, B is less than 1,000 or whatever. But you can do some really, you can do or statements, you can do, just whatever your mind can come up with really to do this. So that is about kind of messing with stuff and being able to run reports internally and build it all out to kind of your heart's content. I think I'll make a second video on kind of getting this stuff out in different ways, or a third video, I guess. You can tell this is really polished, but hey, it's a video for you.